Well, you mentioned U.S. exposed persons. So I just wanted to kind of chip in and kind of define and refine what that means. So these are people that are U.S. exposed for tax purposes. So there would be U.S. citizens, regardless of where they may reside, U.S. green card holders or lawful permanent residents, again, regardless of where they may actually reside, and those who may be U.S. tax resident by virtue of substantial presence. So maybe they're on an H-1B1 or they're on an L-1 or whatever, and they're spending sufficient time so that they're trapped in the U.S. tax net. And you offer products and services and helpful advice for those types of people, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of have two sides to our business. We have a number of offices over in the US itself. So we have an office on the East Coast, an office on the West Coast. Again, it's a large country trying to get across those time zones and the amount of people that are over there. And primitively, we're helping expats in the US as our main concept of business. We've always kind of been a cross-border financial planning firm helping expats where they may be. And that's kind of where our business really started. And we went into a number of regions as a result of that. Again, going back to your substantial presence test, or those that are on a H1 visa and that kind of stuff, working over the US, that might be Europeans, Brits, South Africans, Australians over in the US. So we help those guys there, and my team on that side of the world are helping connect to people in the US. Me being here in Dubai is really helping those expats, those US expats that have some sort of tie, whether it be through passport, green cards. We meet a lot of people who've been to the US in the past and have picked up a green card for being there for a certain period of time. And, they may be European passport holders, British passport holders, GCC passport holders, but have picked up that tie. And that's where we work with Udon and other kind of third parties to really hone in on what it means to have that green card, because I think a lot of people come away from the US not with a clue, sadly, and don't really understand that bit of it. So we just try and work with people based on those ties and get them to understand what those, not necessarily their liabilities, that's not for us as financial planners, but to bring it to their attention that it is an area that needs to be addressed. And if it is something that they want to continue to hold in terms of having that tie, whether that be a passport, a green card, or even those that are married to US connected people, again, they can kind of fall under that net of US connected to some degree. So we just then start to look at what their options are when it comes to financial planning and how and why it's important to take note of that connection, because there is ultimately a tax obligation that comes from it.
Absolutely. And that's an important point you raise, and thanks for that people get US connected and they don't even realize it. So last Friday night, I attended a gala hosted by the American Chamber in Dubai, as well as the US Embassy, Abu Dhabi. So all these people, they were celebrating the anniversary of the historical relationship between the United States and the United Arab Emirates. And, so many people who may be Emirati, they go to university. It is, of course, a popular destination in terms of education, or they may work with a multinational and they spend considerable time in the US. And whenever they return to the Emirates, they come back with passports, green cards, spouses, kids, whatever the case may be. That means suddenly somehow their family is US connected. So you're right, it is more common than people realize.
I think it's a big one as well for those that go over to the States and get educated there, and then they stay on for maybe a couple of years to enroll in work, etc. I speak to a lot of people from the Far East and across the GCC that picked up that green card and didn't know what the implication of it was, and came back at home and stuffed it in a drawer. And it's like, when we have those conversations on financial planning, and one of the conversations that virtually any bank will have with you today, if you're trying to open up a bank account, right, is, are you US connected, a US passport holder, green card holder? They tick yes, and then all this other paperwork comes out, and it's okay, that's your FATCA declaration, but no one understands what that is and what it's there for, right? It's kind of our job to just highlight that to people and the importance of it, and hopefully and encourage them to engage with, again, the right third parties to go through that planning process.
Okay, great.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.